Hello and welcome to the library orientation. I wish I could be with you in person, but fate has decreed otherwise, so here I am on video. As the name implies, I am Fred King, and I'm a medical librarian. For the next 2 hours, we are going to cover the National Library of Medicine classification system, so you'll know where to find books, basic Medline searching, including the use of medical subject headings, MESH, and then there will be a short quiz. Not really. You're not going to remember a single thing I say today, which is normal. You're starting a new program. Many of you are in a new city. Many of you are in a new country. And I have to say, it is possible to get food with flavor in it. First place I'd recommend is where I live, Silver Spring. But for all you tea drinkers, I am so sorry. I'm sorry about our tea. And you don't really need to remember anything I say today, because what you need to know right now is where the bathrooms are, where to find food, and where to find your patients. Now, after you've learned that, there's something else I'd like you to remember. If you remember one thing I say today, it is that Washington Hospital Center has a medical library. And if you can remember two things, Washington Hospital Center has medical librarians. And if you can remember three things, can you imagine anyone remembering three things that I say today? There it is that Washington Hospital Center medical library staff are here to make your life easier. You don't have to remember that one because you're going to hear me say that a lot during your time here. First of all, where we are. We are on the second floor between the A and B elevators. We're in 2A43. Telephone number is 76221. There are three medical librarians, Layla Heimlich, Millie Plotkin, and Fred King, me. You can tell it's the medical library because there's a big sign outside the door that says medical library. Now, the door is unlocked 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, Friday 7:30 to 4:30. Saturday and Sunday we're closed, but all of you have 24-hour access. That's what the library door looks like. See a sign next to it? Medical library. Now, to get into the library, you push on the door. Someday we'll get the paddles fixed, and then if you're carrying something heavy, like the weight of the world on your shoulders, you can press that and the door will open. If it's after hours or the system has suddenly decided to lock the door at an odd hour, hold your badge up to the badge reader, and then, you guessed it, push on the door. And there is a switch that is supposed to operate the door. There's also a motion detector. If those aren't working, there's a big red button. Push that and the lock will disconnect for about 5 seconds. That button. Inside the library, you will find books, journals. You have a shelf of articles written by local authors, your peers. We have computers in the main room. We have a quiet room. And yes, it is quiet room where you can study and work at computers. And sometimes it's reserved for an exam. We have scanners. We have telephones. We have a copier. We have printers. We have bright glaring overhead lights so you can see everything. In recent years, we've added puzzles, word search. We also have a puzzle corner. If you need to get away from things for a while, putting together a jigsaw puzzle can be fun. We allow food, but prefer to be not crumbly food. Please cover your drinks. Some visitors we don't really like to have. And please take it with you when you leave. Speaking of taking things with you when you leave, if you print something, please take it with you, especially patient information. Now, I know that printers get backed up sometimes. Sometimes they just won't print, even though there's no reason they shouldn't print. If we find patient information in the copier, it's going straight into the shred bin. One of those. By the way, that is a book drop. This is not a book drop. And our rule of thumb is if it's patient information and it's not warm from being printed, it goes into one of these. You take it seriously. Especially if you're in the quiet room, print, and then go pick it up. So, do we have any online resources? We do. If you go to Starport, look for Library and Media Services. And if it's not there, check to see you're at MedStar Washington Hospital Center. And it would be taken to our webpage. The IS has changed our network settings, so we cannot get in through a dedicated IP address. So both inside and outside the hospital, you have to go through Open Athens, and we are busily setting up Open Athens accounts for you. Then go to my.openathens.net. Put in your Open Athens account, which is going to be MSH, and your network ID. Schooner's my dog. Then choose MedStar Washington Hospital Center. And it will look like this. Can you get to the hospital resources outside the hospital network? Yes, you can. Same way. Anywhere you can get internet access, you can get into the hospital resources. Even from Mount Talac, which overlooks beautiful Lake Tahoe and Fallen Leaf Lake. Though why you would want to, I don't know, because you're supposed to be having fun when you climb Mount Talac. Some information's easy to find, and some isn't. Now, some information, the easy stuff, you need to know how to find. For the same reason, I need to know basic first aid. If I cut my hand, I know how to bandage it, stop the bleeding, put dressing and bandage on, wash off some of the blood, not in that order. But if I cut my hand off, I'm going to want to go to one of you guys. Same thing. If it gets difficult and frustrating, up to us. So yes, don't get frustrated. Don't spend more than 10 minutes looking for something. Ask a librarian for help. It's what we do. We've been doing this a long time, so we're better at it than you are. You're not interrupting us. You're not inconveniencing us. We wouldn't have gone into this line of work if we didn't enjoy it. Now, when you do your ED rotation, you might have a patient coming in saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I just cut my hand and the bleeding won't stop, but I don't want to be in any trouble. Just put me in a corner for a while." No, they need help. You need help. So don't worry about asking us. Remember what I said? Washington Hospital Medical Library staff are here to make your life easier. Left to right, Sharon takes care of interlibrary loans and everything else. Millie is the second. She just started here this year. Third over is Layla. And I don't know who that scruffy guy on the left is. I think it's me. To sum up, Layla Heimek, Millie Plotkin, Fred King are librarians. 2A43 between the A and B elevators right near the Department of Medicine. You can reach us by email, which may be the easiest way, whclibrary@medstar.net. Or you can call us by phone, 76221. Okay, I told you there was going to be a quiz. Unfortunately, since I'm not there with you, I can't tell if anyone knows. I'm going to ask you anyway. What is the one thing I want you to remember from my presentation today? No? Okay. We'll leave it for another day. Now, tradition has it that I finish with a poem. Poem about central line infections. So, that's up next. Now it's time for me to read the poem. It's called Little Annie Clabsy. With apologies to James Whitcomb Riley. Abstract, Little Annie Clabsy and her evil cousin C. diff visit a hospital and are vanquished by proper hand hygiene. Little Annie Clabsy came into our ward one day. To treat her cost 100 grand. Insurance wouldn't pay. Bacteria were everywhere. She came in like a flood. She dirtied up the central lines. She dirtied up the blood. The patients on dialysis came down with Clabsies too. A careful blood analysis showed data we would rue. We didn't want her spreading to the hospital throughout, but the Clabsy's gonna get you if you don't wash out. Soon after, Annie Clabsy introduced her evil cousin. C. diff came in and spread, infected patients by the dozen. He spread like wildfire, and he put on quite a show of diarrhea and the smell that all the nurses know. We didn't want these visitors. We knew we had to change. A Clabsy-free environment we'd happily arrange. We'd looked at all our practices that caused the germs to sprout, because the Clabsy went and got us, because we don't wash out. We wash our hands, and then we put on gloves outside the door. But gloves are not invincible. That's not what gloves are for. We put our hands into our pockets, and we scratch our head and touch the dirty sheets that are upon the patient's bed. No wonder that the samples that we drew came back a yes. We didn't keep a germ-free field. The blood was clean, I guess, because gloves can get contaminated. Germs are all about, and the Clabsy's gonna get you if you don't wash out. Now we wash our hands and put on gowns and gloves as well. Replace the central lines on schedule. Do not let them dwell. Use caps infused with alcohol on all the IV ports, and bleach and ultraviolet light from lanterns made of quartz. Use sterile packs for TPN with gloves and wipes and more, so we can feed our patients and keep Clabsy off the floor. Eschew contamination with attention quite devout, because the Clabsy's gonna get you if you don't wash out. Now, little Annie Clabsy hasn't been here for a year, and her evil cousin C. diff is no more a thing to fear. But they could both come creeping back on some disastrous day if we don't do all that we can to keep them both at bay. Use sterile gloves and wash your hands with lots of soap and water for central lines and TPN, just like you know you oughter. Don't touch stray objects with your gloves, 'cause germs are all about. And the Clabsy's gonna get you if you. Well, I hope some of you join in. Thank you, and I'll see you in the library.